Today we are going to discuss about the data warehouse and their concepts and designs. Uh, First of all, data warehouse is a collection of data gathered and organized so that it can easily be analyzed, extracted, and synthesized, and otherwise be used for the purpose of further understanding the data. A data warehouse is subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, and non-volatile connection of data in support of the management decision-making process. So basically, data warehouse is the collection of data which is related to a particular subject and which integrate different data stores which are time variant and non-volatile in nature. And this kind of data is used for analyzing and extracting useful information and perform and also the synthesizing some attributes perform and for the management decisions making. This is the basic of the data warehouse. Our data warehouse typically consists of four items that are the source from where the data is collected, the staging areas, the data warehouse, and or data marts, and the end users. In data warehouse, as you can see here, that from the through the data stores and different operations, which are operational systems, the or some file systems, uh, the data is collected or integrated, and after that a warehouse is designed in which data is stored, which is on stored in organized way, and it also maintains a metadata, and it is used for the overall view of the data, which integrates the different operational databases data stores, and it may have some amount of redundancy also. So, and at the last, there are users who use these kind of data, integrated data, for the analysis and for processing its various queries and for generating reports through this. So, this is the simple data warehouse architecture. The There are different types of data warehouse, and or we may say that there are the different kinds of database which are uh, used. These are the offline operational databases. The data warehouses are developed by the copying the data of an operational system to another server where the processing load of the reporting against the copied data does not impact the operational system performance. Here, as it is the offline operational database, here data it loads does not report the operations immediately after it is done on the operational system, but it copy the data from the operational system to the server after some time, because this kinds of information, this is used for the processing which are not time critical or does not impact the operational system performance. So these kinds of data which are used for copying the data which are not very time critical, and this used for the data that is not frequently accessed or frequently updated. The next one is the offline data warehouse. Data warehouse are updated from data in the operational system on the regular basis, and the data warehouse data is stored in a data structure designed to facilitate reporting. Here, the data warehouse is also offline, but it is updated after a regular interval. So it is updated, but not immediately, but at a regular interval. In this way, it's also not online data warehouse, it's kind of offline data warehouse, but the difference is that it is updated on the regular basis. While on the first one, yeah, it just copies the data of the from the operational data warehouse, and the data that has already been copied is not updated frequently. There is a various not very uh, critical difference between these two, but the difference is that in first one we copy data from data warehouse, and after that once it is copied, it does not update it. But in the second one, the data is updated after a regular interval. The next one is the real-time data warehouse. The data warehouse at this stage are updated every time an operational system perform a transaction. As from the name, we can get a clear impression that it is a real-time data warehouse. So every operation that is done on the operational system is updated in the data warehouse. And the next one is the integrated data warehouse. The data warehouse at this stage are updated every time an operational system performs a transaction, like the earlier one, but the data warehouse then generate transactions that are passed back into the operational system. But after the operations, the data warehouse performs some actions and report, and or you may say that the provide that information back to the operational system. In this way, the data flow is from the operational system to the data warehouse, and from data warehouse to the operational system. While in the first one, real-time data warehouse, the updation was the flow of the information was first just from the operational system to the data warehouse. Next one is the type of the data warehouses. There are different type of data warehouses that I use. The first one is the enterprise data warehouse. These data warehouse provide a controlled database for decision support throughout the enterprise. These are used in the some big enterprises where this can be used. They used to provide a database for the taking managerial decisions, and it is also uses the large amount. It uses a large amount of historical data for the providing the better solution or the view of the data. Operational data stores. Next one is has a broad enterprise under scope, but unlike a real enterprise data warehouse, data is refreshed in rare real time and used for routine business activity. It is also a business uh, used in business, but it is just used the daily activity or daily operational transactions related data, transaction related data, and it is not used for taking a better decision, or it just stores the current data and not the historical data. Uh, Current data or limited amount of data of that are limited amount of data in comparison to the enterprise data warehouse, which store a huge amount of historical data also. The next one is Datamart. Datamart is a subpart of data warehouse. It supports a particular region, or it is designed for particular line of business. It's a subpart of the data warehouse. It's generally it is related to some particular subjects, and it support a particular reasons or particular uh, area, and it covers a particular area for which it is specially designed in industries, business industries. Uh, we may say that the data mart is a smaller version of data warehouse, and it's usually containing the data related to a single unit of an organization. As it is a particular specified, it stores a data related to a specified subject or area, and usually data mart focuses on the requirement of only one department or business function of a company. Data mart can be a useful first step to a full-scale data warehouse, or we may say that with the combination of data marts, we designs a large size enterprise level data warehouse. So what is the need of creating the data marts? Because data marts are related to a particular subject or department. They are used to provide data for user in a single department to improve the end user response time. due to the reduction in the volume of data in comparison to the large size data warehouse. The data is divided according to the department or subjects, and so it is better to handle the data related to a related to a particular field rather than the variety of different fields. Building a data mart is simpler compared with establishing a corporate data warehouse. Because of the specific subject, it is easier to design a schema related to that subject, and it is very easier to design the schema for that particular subject. So it is easier to design a data mart rather than a data warehouse. The cost of implementing data mart is normally less for the same reason, because it is less complex than the data warehouse. So the implementation cost of the data marts are relatively less than that of the data warehouse. User of a data mart are more clearly defined and can be more easily targeted. Since it is related to particular subjects, so only the person related or interested in that area or department will be our clients. So we can design our data mart uh, keeping in mind the need of the particular segments of the clients or people who will work on that. So it's easy to design, it's cheaper, uh, uh, it is simple to design, and its response time is less as data size is much smaller in comparison to data warehouse. And these are the advantages of data marts. So overall, we can say that it's a subpart of the data warehouse, and this is the overview of the data marts and data warehouse. So in the benefit next, the benefit of the data warehouse housing. Our data warehouses provide a common data model for all the data of interest, regardless of the data source. It's a data warehouse is used to integrate different data sources together in a much redundant forms, so we can access different data from different fields through a single data warehouse, because we do not feel that there is an interface which it is providing us integrated data through different data operational databases. The second one is that prior to loading data into the data warehouse, inconsistencies are identified and resolved. But the integrating different data operational database is not easy task. Before integrating, we must remove all the inconsistencies like missing value, noise from before integration, and these things are already done by the data warehouse. So we get a very organized and filtered data with least amount of redundancy. Then, and the third benefit is that information in the data warehouse is under the control of data warehouse user, so that even if the source system data is purged over the time, the information in the warehouse can be stored safely for extended period of time. Uh, Information in the data warehouse is under the control of data warehouse user. So if the data source system data get lost, even in that situation, we have a copy on the data warehouse, so we can safely for uh, access that, and in this way it's much reliable and secured system, and it provide a kind of security and reliability to user of their data. The data warehouse can work in conjunction with and hence enhance the value of operational business application, notably customer relationships management systems. Since data warehouse can combine different modules and subjects and data marts uh, together, so we can extend our services through the channelizing different departments together for providing better services to the customer on a single platform, like the CRM system, in which we relate different kinds of uh, utility services and supplies and other things together on a single platform, so that you can buy purchase different items at the same time, and ask for the service and the insurance and different things through a single platform. Next one is data warehouse facilitates decision support system applications such as trend report, exception report, and report that show actual performance versus goal. It's used for the creating reports, generating the uh, feedbacks, and providing the detailed analysis reports. And in this way, by taking the overall sales report and the growth of the companies, in this way it can be used for providing us the, it facilitates us in taking a better decision, and it can work as the better decision support system. The next is the data warehouses provides retrieval of data without slowing down operational system. Uh, since its data warehouse are designed to handle a huge amount of data, they have a huge computational capacity. Say so, they provide us the scalability of data, and it doesn't uh, decrease the performance or provide a better service to the user, even if the data size is very huge, and even if it requires a lot of computational capacity to process that data, the user gets a smooth experience. Besides this, there are some disadvantages also. First one is the data warehouses are usually not static. Maintenance costs are high since they stores a large amount of data or huge amount of data in terabytes. So they need a lot of power uh, power to cool down the server and the power supply, and continuous investment for maintaining those huge amount of data stores. Second, warehouse can get outdated relatively quickly, uh, as the lot of data becomes and maybe outdated after a time. So maintaining such a huge amount of data through the which is continuously growing, some of the portion which are outdated are also stored on the data warehouse, and that are the completely waste of our resources. There is often a fine line between data warehouse and operational system. Duplicate expensive functionality may be developed, or functionality may be developed in the data warehouse that, in retrospect, should have been developed in the operational system, and vice versa. So, in this way, it is used for the business intelligence, and so these are the certain tools which are used for the business intelligence, like a spreadsheet, reporting and querying softwares, OLAP, digital dashboards, data mining, processing mining, and business performance management. So this is the this is all about the data warehouse.